Hi, I'm Anna from BeautyGirlsMom.com.
And I'm Eilish, her skipper.
Also my dining companion at the brand new restaurant at the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World Resort.
Jungle Navigation Company, Skipper Canteen.
Most people will just call it Skipper Canteen. No one will remember that big long name, and that's perfectly fine. So this is a brand new, as I said, just opened up on December the 16th. And there are, as of today, which is January the 1st, no dining reservations. So you do have to get there and get in line to wait for a table. Now, we went Christmas week. We were there at 11 o'clock when they opened for lunch, and it did fill up very quickly. So you will want to try and get there. They will let you know when your table is ready. You'll be given a buzzer, so you don't have to worry about missing your table. But just know going in that it does get busy, so if you can go either earlier or later, that's going to be the better thing. So the backstory of this restaurant is obviously from the Jungle Cruise. You can go ahead and give us the story.
So on the back of the menu, it will go into this whole backstory that is written by the daughter of the founder. So it started as the Jungle Cruise was a failing shipping company.
Correct.
So from there, it went into a successful touring place, and
basically the bottom line is the daughter of the owner of the Jungle Cruise
opened a restaurant.
Tour group, opened up a restaurant, and this is the result of that. You will find on the menu things that are inspired by world travels, which is what the Jungle Cruise is supposed to be. You'll find some African flavors, some Egyptian flavors. You will taste different things on this menu. There is no alcohol served at the restaurant yet. I don't know whether there will be or not. They do have alcohol at Be Our Guest, so it would not be the first Magic Kingdom restaurant that had alcoholic beverages available, but as of right now, they do not have any. The one thing I want to say is it's very similar to the way Be Our Guest is laid out. There are 3 separate dining rooms. You can absolutely request a room if you want to. There are no guarantees, and you may end up waiting.
Odds are you will have to wait quite a bit.
You will if you want a specific room. The largest of the rooms is the cruise mess hall. Every room is beautifully themed. I have to say that. There's very rich fabrics. What else did you notice about some of the decor?
The decor was very jungle related. There were trophies from hunts in one of the rooms. In the corner of each room, I don't know what you would call that.
Kind of like carvings.
Carvings in the columns, I guess?
Yeah, carvings in the columns. The cruise mess hall had a bulletin board where the crew could go and check their messages and stuff, just like you would expect to go in, the employee cafeteria. But it was beautifully themed in every single room. We actually ate in the Falls family parlor. The Falls family is the original owners of the whole Jungle Cruise, shipping company, the whole thing. And it was gorgeous. Beautiful. The room was gorgeous. It had stained glass lamps that were not your traditional stained glass. It was a ring of parrots that just brilliant colors.
A couple of the windows had it so that it was a window, and then up top where it would kind of have the half moon, it was a peacock.
Yeah, the room itself was just beautifully appointed. The thing that you want to know about was the food. So we found that there were hits and misses with regard to the menu. We decided to try a couple of the different appetizers that were meant more for a group, and they went over pretty well. The first one was the falafel, which is served on a white bean sauce.
I am not a fan of falafels in general, but these were actually really good.
They were very good, and Granny Well thought it was meatballs. She didn't know the difference, and we were good with that. Good with that. The other thing that we tried was the arepas. Now, we have never had arepas before. We didn't know there was a thing, there was a plan to it, and we had a really, really awful waitress. The food was placed before us, and on the platter with the arepas was tostones, pulled barbecued beef, black beans with cheese. There were a bunch of different things. Didn't know you were supposed to eat them all together, so we didn't. We kind of ate them separately. Individually, some of them were absolutely outstanding. The barbecue beef was moist, it was flavorful, it was delicious.
The beans were cooked fairly well.
Black beans were very good. It would have been good to know that maybe you should have eaten them all together. We took them each as a separate appetizer.
At one point I was mixing them, but even then I think it was better apart.
Yeah, but we didn't know how you should eat them. Not as much luck on the entrees. I ordered the noodle bowl. You can get the noodle bowl with shrimp, chicken, or beef. I ordered it with chicken. It says on there that it has jalapeno peppers. Now, I I can eat foods that are a little spicy. I don't like hot foods. I don't like real heavy spice. So I asked about how spicy it was, and I was told they could leave the jalapeno peppers off. Even with that, it would still probably be pretty spicy. I thought I would give it a try anyway, and just because everything else in the bowl was kind of appealing to me, so I did order it. It was bland. There was virtually no flavor at all. The chicken was bland. The noodles were bland. There was almost no broth in the bowl, and the broth that was there really could have used maybe the jalapeno peppers or some little bit of spice or seasoning or something. The texture of the noodles was a little bit off. They were rice noodles. It was just a little bit off. You chose the Skipper's mac and cheese, which is done in what they call an Egyptian style. So tell us about the mac and cheese.
So it had, I want to say, like shell pasta, and over all of that was a bunch of cheese. I think it was white cheese. I'm not sure what it was called, but it was really good. And underneath the layer of the pasta was a bunch of meat. So when you mixed it all together, it tastes absolutely amazing.
So the dish itself, I'll just be a little more specific than just white and meat. It was basically ground beef, but it was seasoned with cinnamon and nutmeg, some more Middle Eastern flavors than what you would typically expect in mac and cheese. It was in a white bechamel sauce with a variety of cheeses. It was creamy. It was really, really tasty. I did not see a lot of ground beef in it.
I had mixed it.
But it was really, really tasty. If your kids are expecting the orange stuff out of the box, this is not that kind of macaroni and cheese.
This is not your Kraft mac and cheese.
This is not your Kraft mac and cheese, but it really was tasty. I think the hit of the entrees, not so much for you because you didn't love it. I thought it was really good. Granuel ordered the char siu pork, which basically was a barbecued grilled pork tenderloin that was moist and tender and really, really flavorful. It was definitely Asian inspired, but it was a really flavorful dish. It came with a side of rice and some Chinese broccoli, neither of which Granuel ate, but it came also with 2 really generous portions of the pork itself. So that in and of itself was pretty much a good meal for her, and a couple of the bites of the rice. We didn't attempt dessert. They do have a couple of specialty non-alcoholic cocktails. We didn't try any of those. I hear they're really, really very good. And the last thing that I want to bring up is service. When you go to a restaurant that's newly open, you kind of cut them some slack with regard to service. Our waitress did things like try and take Granuel's plate away from her while she had the fork to her mouth with food on it and still food on the plate. She came over and tried to remove that plate. She came over to me still with a full noodle bowl in front of me and said, "Oh, would you like to order some dessert now?" Well, I'd like to take the first bite of my noodle bowl before I order dessert. Everything felt very rushed. She didn't take the time to explain anything. The only reason I know that the arepas were meant to be eaten together is because the waiter at the next table explained to his guests how you were supposed to put the arepas together. Overall, I would say that we would maybe go back. I think I like the experience a little bit more than I like Be Our Guest, especially at lunchtime. I like the options much better.
I think food-wise, I would rather come here than Be Our Guest.
Yeah, I think the food was a little bit different, and it's not typical lunch food. You'll have the same menu for lunch or dinner. So if you like to eat your bigger meal at lunchtime, this is definitely the place to go. Again, you're not going to find, chicken nuggets, hot dogs, things like that. This is not going to be your $10 per person lunch. There were entrees that went all the way up to like $25 and $28 per person. But it overall was a tasty meal. There were a couple things maybe we wouldn't do again, like the rice bowl, but most of the food was really very good. The atmosphere definitely well worth a look again. A lot of people were walking through the rooms with video cameras, taking pictures, leaning over other people as they ate, trying to get pictures of the fabrics and stuff. I would go back just to get another glimpse of the inside of it and maybe to try something else. So out of 5 Mickey bars, how many Mickey bars would you give it?
As I said, this is like the first time. We haven't gotten the full experience, so I'm going to rate it 3.5.
I would probably give it a 3 with the hope that if I visited again, it would go up to a 4, 4.5. Definitely a different experience, unique cuisine, beautiful setting, something you wouldn't expect to find at the Magic Kingdom. So that's our review of Skipper Canteen, located again at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom.
One last thing before we go, we're going to mention the jokes. If you have ever ridden the Jungle Cruise or the Jingle Cruise before, you will know that the skippers have dry humor, I would guess.
Puns.
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 It's very punny there.
It's very punny.
But I feel like our server was not very
Punny. She was not punny. There was, we heard some of the other servers
cracking jokes.
One server who came over and introduced himself to the table as, "Hi, my name is Jim. I'll be your waiter. If anything goes wrong, just ask for Bob." They were trying to do funny things. They also escort you out a different door than you came in. And she made a comment, but she was so quick with it. What did she say? Something about the backside.
Here's the backside of the restaurant.
Backside of the restaurant. Again, referring to the backside of water on the Jungle Cruise. So yeah, they do try to make puns and stuff. Yeah, it was a good thing that you threw that in there because you might be expecting kind of that
similar Jungle Cruise humor.
Yeah. Hopefully it will be there as time goes on, as they learn their shtick, as they get used to being in that type of environment. But again, I am Anna from beautygirlsmom.com. We are going to try this year to do more of the restaurant reviews. We have a ton of them. We just haven't gotten around to them. But it is very important. If you want to try a new restaurant, know before you go. Know what to expect. If you'd like to subscribe, just click the button wherever it appears on your screen.
All right, we'll see you real soon.